Today we'll be giving you a progress update on how our overland build is coming along. We are planning to take this rig to Alaska this coming summer, so we have a fast approaching deadline to get this thing done by. As of today, we are starting a countdown of the days remaining before we head on that epic adventure. Let's get into it. First off, we got a bunch of new stuff in the mail, including new camera equipment and lights to make our videos better, as well as some components that will be going into the rig. Unfortunately, at this point we're doing more planning and fleshing out of our ideas than building things, so it's not as exciting to watch right now. However, we're getting some big parts like the frame for the dinette and the galley ordered, so once those come in, we will have a lot of stuff going into the build to show you. In the meantime, let's see what's changed in the CAD model since you last saw it.
Okay, here is a update of where all the CAD modeling is at on the rig interior. Put a lot of work into this and changed many things, a lot of decisions to be made, a lot of frustrations, but we're making forward progress. Here are some of the things that have changed on the dinette since we looked at it last. The design is almost done. It's about ready to order. Made a ton of changes to the parts. I added a shroud up and over the top. This will hide the bed when it's up against the ceiling. So it'll drop down like that, get stowed in that position. We added drawer openings for 3 drawers. These will all be the same size. This portion has been cut away so that we can have access to run utilities from the garage area into the area behind the galley. So I'll show you more about that in a minute. I added cutouts to the seat pan so we can move the cushions and reach into the garage area in case we forgot something down there. Been working on this, trying to decide what kind of materials I should use to build out the shower walls. Building the shower enclosure from aluminum will allow us to keep a common construction methodology and get parts ordered all at once without having to come up with a new way to attach the panels. So I've drawn up a custom shower pan. It's kind of a complicated model because I've got a slope in 2 different directions, which leads to this pan. So it slopes from this corner to the drain at the other opposite corner. The truck won't always be parked in a level spot, so we want to make sure the water runs downhill. So we had to have an aggressive slope instead of a typical 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch per foot. I think this is 1/2 inch per foot. Finally had a chance this week to make a quick drawing of the toilet and throw that in here for scale to make sure that the layout with the shower head was going to be compatible with the footprint on the floor. So far, I think this is going to work. This corner trim piece will have the shower handle and the shower head up in the top. I measured a roll of toilet paper with my calipers to make sure it was accurate, to throw that in the CAD model to see where we can store that. So that's just floating in here for right now. Obviously, nobody wants wet toilet paper, so we'll have to make an enclosure for that. Still working on some of the details for the shower door. It'll probably be made from aluminum as well. One thought is to have the hinge along here, and then as the door swings open, it creates a changing room area to the right side. Another really cool idea that Laura came up with was to mount the washing machine in the bathroom. I've been thinking for a while how I was going to fit that in the galley area to keep it close to the plumbing, but not take up too much area for drawers in the kitchen. So since we have a water tank behind this wall that's about 12 inches wide, the washing machine is not too much larger and will get mounted to the wall. Here's an interior bezel, so this would get installed or removed for service through the bathroom wall, and then the cover plate would be put on to seal out the rest of the unit from any spray from the shower head. I think this is a great spot for it. Water is close by, power hookup won't be a big deal, and then the water can drain from here into the shower pan without most likely adding it to the drain system. For the galley, the layout is to have a Kraus sink here. This is a 17-inch sink, I believe. The drain is going to get set off to the right just to make room for other components down below. Right now, the gray water tank is approximately 23 by 23 by 12, and I think it's around a 25-gallon tank. The freshwater tank is 55 gallons. We'll have 2 of them for 110 gallons of fresh water. The isotemp shown here is a 6.5 gallon. The gray water tank is located below it. This size tank allows these other drawers to be open, and we can have nice deep drawers up to 30 inches deep going front to back. So far on the countertop, we're just planning to use maple butcher block. So the countertop is 30 inches deep. The height at the moment is approximately 42 inches. 40 inches. I'm going to make that a little bit taller. We're going with an extra tall countertop. We're all tall, and just adding a little bit of height gives us more volume underneath to work with. This area will be used for toiletries. This can be a small door, maybe with a mirror on the backside, keep toothbrushes, soap, etc. in there. Still working on the other main cabinet. There's a lot going on in here. The refrigerator, the microwave, water tank, batteries, Victron, etc. At the moment, I'm planning to put the water tank up front here And of course, we mentioned that the water tank on the bathroom side is over here. This keeps the weight of the water up towards the front of the cab as much as possible. The batteries also have quite a bit of weight, 6 of them. They're each about 100 pounds, so that 600-pound mass will also be kept up near the bulkhead. This surface will become a little bit of a workstation. I plan to add a toe kick to this cabinet as well. This will be placed at working desk height. We'll add a TV/monitor mounted to this wall that'll be stowed in portrait orientation and then rotated down to landscape for using as a computer while standing here or viewing TV, etc. while we're in the dinette.
One of the things that we really wanted to get done before hitting the road was to delete the middle seat in the rear. We had the Habitat box built with a pass-through door so that we could go between the cab and the Habitat box without going outside. But the rear seat, even though it does fold down there and we can technically go through the door, the rear seat was not meant to bear humans' weight. It was just a backer on top of the metal. It wasn't anything that was meant for that purpose at all. Not many people go crawling through their rear window. The rear seat in the back was a 60-40 split, and we were able to find somebody who would take the 60 part of it and make it match the 40, so that we would have matching seats on both sides with a pass-through in between. Taking the rear seat out was pretty straightforward. It was bolted to the floor, and I had to take the seatbelt off the side and things like that. The funny part is that I went through the whole process and I had to take both parts off in order to get the 60 part out, but then I put the 40 part back on and then realized that I really wanted that back out again because I needed to have them match that, and it would be easier if they had both pieces. So we brought in both pieces to a shop that's not far away, and they were able to cut the metal and weld it together so that it matches the 40 part of the seat. And they're just going to use the existing cover to reupholster it, and it should be good to go, which is exciting. As with any car or truck you might buy, ours came with a rear view mirror. But since there's a giant box directly behind it, there's obviously no need for a normal mirror. We've seen a few other people install mirrors that are actually screens linked to a camera at the back of the box, essentially providing the same functionality as a rear view mirror, which, might be important. So we decided to do the same. I tackled this install myself since everyone else was busy with their own projects. And it started with tearing our brand new vehicle apart. A little bit. First, I had to take off the casing covering the assembly for the factory mirror so I could remove it, as well as the covers for attaching the sun visor and the hooks. Then I detached the casing on the right A-pillar and ran the wires down below the dashboard. I figured out which ones ground and accessory were, but I didn't have a clue as to 12-volt constant power. I finally asked Jake for help after hours of trying to figure it out myself, and he looked at it for a few minutes and said he had no clue. So that wasn't particularly helpful. So we just kind of threw our hands up. Anyway, once we do get this thing installed, we're one step closer to Alaska.
That's all for today. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check out our blog. And please leave a comment if you have any ideas on what you'd like to see for future content too. Bye!
I'm so bad at this.